Welcome to another edition of Community Conversations. I'm Laura Wagoner, your host. In my community affairs role at Villanova University, I've met many exceptional people doing great work, from university professors and leaders of service organizations to law enforcement officials and township commissioners. The goal of this program is to provide you, the viewers, a monthly glimpse of the people making headlines at Villanova and across the township. Today, I'll introduce you to one of those people that plays an instrumental role in helping make Villanova University the special place that it is. Chris Kovolski serves as Assistant Vice President of Government Relations and External Affairs at Villanova University. In this role, he coordinates the university's government outreach and engagement efforts, as well as community initiatives that are designed to enhance Villanova's regional profile and strengthen its relationship with neighbors. Previously, Chris served in communications and public relations roles with Villanova's Office of the President and University Advancement, City Year Greater Philadelphia, and the Southeastern Pennsylvania chapter of the American Red Cross. Chris graduated from Villanova University in 1996 with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Great to be here.
So let's get right to it. What exactly is an economic impact study?
An economic impact study is really what the name says. It's a study designed to measure the economic impact of the institution on a defined area. So for this report, we wanted to look at the impact that the university has, not just economically, but from a community standpoint as well, on Radnor Township, the 5-county area, Greater Philadelphia, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Is this the first study we've done here at Villanova?
We did our first study around 2011. And since then, we've updated some of the figures along the way. We did a smaller study with some of our peer institutions in Radnor Township, but this is a significant update of the data that we originally collected back in 2011.
And is there a reason that a college or university would want to put this data together?
Yeah, there's a few reasons. I can speak to what Villanova's reasons were. First of all, this tells a really good story. The university has been in this area since 1842. A lot of folks know of Villanova, know that it's in their backyard, but it's easy to lose track of the scope and scale of the impact that the university can have on the economy of a local area. So we wanted to collect the information that would be able to tell that story. And we also wanted to make sure that in some cases there can be a narrative where the university can be seen as a drain or have a negative impact on an area. And we wanted to have some data in place to show our perspective and sort of demonstrate that there are positive aspects to having a stable employer, a large purchaser, a developer, and a generator of spending in the immediate vicinity.
So let's talk about the data. How is that collected? Are you the one who collects it, or do you hire an outside firm? How does that work?
We use an outside firm, eConsult Solutions. They're the recognized industry leader in this field. They're located in Philadelphia and University City. They've conducted our economic impact studies previously and work with lots of other clients, both locally and around the country. Not just institutions, but other organizations, other affiliations. And they oversee the data collection. But the data comes from the university. It comes from our records. It comes from mostly our finance office. But we collect data from across the university, feed it to eConsult, and they help us do the analysis.
And are there any other outside partners used, or is it just that company and the university?
We stick to just that company and university. Again, they help drive the narrative that comes from the data, help determine what the outcomes are, and are a fantastic partner to work with. We're really pleased to have them, and not only have them, but have them here locally. So they can come to campus, they're accessible to us, and have a sense for what Villanova is in addition to their other local clients. They know this is not just some sort of organization that's at the other end of an email string. This is an institution that's in their backyard, and it helps them help us understand the data better.
That sounds great. So the report is broken down, the numbers are broken down into Radnor Township, the Greater Philadelphia area, the state of Pennsylvania, That's a lot of data. Can you talk a little bit about, maybe give us an overview of the results, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty
Sure,
of it?
absolutely. We also took a look at the impact on Delaware County as well.
Right.
And the data looks at three main areas: overall spending, business activity, and capital initiatives. So overall, when you add all those areas together, Villanova is estimated to have an economic impact in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania of $887 million, nearly $900 million. That leads then to more than 6,000 jobs with over $460 million in earnings. And that does not include the number of employees at Villanova. So what that says is that the activities, the output of the university creates jobs in the Commonwealth with significant earnings. So beyond just what we do on our own, there is a tremendous ripple effect. Closer to home, here in Radnor Township, that output is estimated at $62 million, which leads to 520 jobs with $31 million in earnings. So even at a hyper-local level, the university is a job generator, an earnings generator, and a stable employer and purchaser of goods and services.
Wow. So Villanova's done a lot of building over the last 5 years or so. We've got the new Commons, the bridge, the update pavilion, and the Performing Arts Center. Can you talk a little bit about capital spending and the investments that the university has made on these recent projects?
Absolutely. That is a really good story to tell. Over the past 5 years, the university's averaged $120 million in capital spending. So that's new construction, that's maintenance and renewal for our existing physical plant. But anyone who's driven by or around the university in that time period has witnessed a lot of construction going on. And in fact, some of the major projects that people are familiar with, the Commons, the Performing Arts Center, the Inn at Villanova University, the Transforming the Campus Landscape Initiative. Those projects and a couple of others total $411 million worth of capital investments. It's new construction. Those are jobs, both temporary construction jobs and in some cases new permanent positions. And all of that work generates salaries, it generates permits and fees, it generates spending. So we're really excited about that. We're also excited that we are coming to an end to some of those construction projects. We can take our breath a little bit, but Villanova's stability as an institution, its ability to invest in its physical plant and really help transform its campus is a significant economic generator.
That sounds great. Let's give a little plug to the restaurant we just had open recently. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We just opened at the end of September the Refectory at the corner of Lancaster and 9th and Avenues. It shares a space with Parliament Espresso and Coffee, both of which are open to the public. The Refectory is owned and operated by Zavino Hospitality Group, which operates Tradici and Bryn Mawr and other restaurants in Philadelphia. We're really excited to bring them on board as an operator of the university's restaurant. Certainly we expect there to be a lot of business from Villanova-related populations, students, faculty, staff, parents, alumni, and friends, but we definitely want our neighbors, our local residents to stop in and see what a stunning place it is. We've never had a full-service restaurant on campus, and we're really excited to add that to the offerings that we have here, and as another business here in Radnor Township.
That's great. All right, so back to the report. What is the alumni wage premium? How is that measured? What does it mean?
Yeah, so there's actually a fourth area that this report studied, and this was in addition to the scope that we asked eConsult to take on. But they have an interesting set of metrics that help determine the value of an institution's degree in a specific geographic area. So what it was determined was that in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it's estimated that there are 33,000 Villanova alumni. And who, thanks to their Villanova degree, earn a little over than $1 billion more annually than they would with a degree from another institution. That is based on data from our own Career Center and average starting salaries compared to some Department of Labor statistics on average salaries that are reported. And that 1.06 billion, I think, in wage premium translates into just under $900 million in economic impact in the Commonwealth. So almost all of that wage premium is being spent in Pennsylvania. So in addition to the university's direct economic impact, our alumni living in Pennsylvania, and we have a lot locally as well here in Radnor Township and throughout Greater Philadelphia, they are earning more, they are spending more, and they are having an additional positive impact on the community.
Wow, that's great. So the report talks a great deal about community engagement, specifically how Radnor Township, you mentioned Delaware County, and the state Greater Philadelphia region benefit from having the university in the area. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of community service, Nova Bucks, sort of explaining the spending of students in the area as well, so the community aspect in terms of service and spending?
Yeah. So one of the things that we've seen recently along the main line in Radnor Township and at adjacent municipalities, there's been some growth in retail and services. And when you look at why those providers are picking this area, there's documented evidence in the media where they note the presence of Villanova and other institutions as a target demographic that they want to serve. So we know that college students, the money that they bring and spend is a real driver for businesses coming into the area, and the full-time residents are beneficiaries of that. Certainly this is a fantastic area. There's a lot of wonderful things that happen here with or without Villanova, but the addition or the fact that there are so many students here, college students, certainly leads to business owners seeing this as a more desirable place to open their business, and we know members of the community benefit from that as well. One way we measure economic activity among our students is the Nova Bucks programs. It's a network of about 70 retailers, many of which are restaurants, other service providers in and around the main line that accept the wild card as a form of payment. So students or parents or relatives are able to add money to their student ID and use that as a debit card at these merchants. So it's a great way to track some spending. It's a very popular program. Our merchants love it. They love being able to advertise that the wild card accepted for payment in their windows.
Signs in Wayne.
Yep. And it also gives us some metrics on how our students patronize local businesses. I think when you look at coming to a school like Villanova, families are looking at the surrounding area, the residential environment, easy access to a number of metropolitan areas. But they're also looking at the mix of restaurants and services that are here as well. They want to come here and they want to be out in the local community supporting local businesses. So this helps us sort of reaffirm the value that there is to being a member of a vibrant community.
Sure. And your office recently has begun working with the different business associations along the main line, partnering on different events. Do you think that's helped the community business aspect? Just being a part of those groups?
I think it has. We've become much more active in a visible way in the business associations in Bryn Mawr and Wayne, the Mainline Chamber of Commerce, the Ardmore Initiative, the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. Villanova has been in operation for a long time, but we haven't necessarily been as active in those business associations. So to be able to be present and be involved and develop initiatives together that bring our resources to bear, but also support the efforts of those organizations, I think has borne a lot of fruit. One example of that is the Restaurant Week that we've had over the past couple of years. It really demonstrates, again, what a vibrant mix of eating establishments we have in the area, and it helps bring them together, which isn't often easy, and then advertise specials and drive business to them. Again, we know that places like Bryn Mawr and Wayne and Ardmore, it's tough to find a seat in those restaurants on the weekends, and a lot of it has to do with the traffic from institutions, whether it's students and their parents, students together, employees. We want to spread the word that there's lots of great places to eat to our population.
So you mentioned the Wayne and Bryn Mawr Business Associations as well as the Ardmore Initiatives. You are hosting an event coming up with those organizations?
Absolutely, yeah. We have a small business panel networking event on November 11th. It's a breakfast event at the Inn at Villanova. Open to the public. Breakfast will be provided, and we have a panel discussion that will include Ernie McNeely, the township manager for Lower Merion, a lot of amazing business transformation, residential transformation in that municipality, which is right next door to the university. We have Greg Dodge, who runs the Villanova Hospitality Group, which runs the refectory on campus in Tredici and Bryn Mawr. And then we have a member of our business school faculty, David Fiorenza, who also has a lot of experience locally working with municipalities on business and economic development. We're looking forward to a vibrant discussion centered around how to market and operate your business around a college or university. There's a lot of data in our report that is specific to Villanova, but it certainly speaks to the impact that any institution can have. And as you're a small business owner, how do you make sure that you're taking advantage of that population, of that demographic? How are you appealing to them to maximize your business? So again, Monday, November 11th, I believe it's 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m. that at the Inn at Villanova University, and it's open to the public.
Perfect. And that's not just your restaurants that you guys are reaching out to, right? That's all businesses
Correct.
in the area.
A lot of service providers. So in addition to the restaurants, which are sort of an easy thing to point to, our students use a lot of the other services that are available, whether it's salons, fitness centers, gyms, other small businesses, other service providers, utilities. They're great consumers, and so this event should appeal to a broad spectrum of business owners.
That sounds great. So the university offers a great deal of amenities to its neighbors and the community. What types of programs, services, and events are open to our neighbors and friends of Villanova?
We're very fortunate to have a vibrant campus with lots of programs and lots of amenities, and we love welcoming our neighbors and our friends into those. One of the most popular programs is our Friends of Villanova program, which allows access to our campus fitness center to residents of Radnor Township and those areas that are adjacent to the university in Lower Merion Township for $25 a year. It's a fantastic deal and a very popular program. Another program that we offer is our personal enrichment program for seniors. That allows senior citizens to take classes for free, not for credit. Not every class is available, but a lot are. And it's a fantastic way to bring not only seniors into the classroom, but to have their perspective added to the perspective of our students. It helps create some dynamic discussions and really helps provide maybe some different viewpoints on a topic depending on what the class is. In addition to that, the parish church is located on campus, and there are liturgies in there that are open to the public. Lots of our academic programs, our lectures are open to the public. A great way to stay on top of what's available is to subscribe to our newsletter. Go to villanova.edu/neighbors, and there's information there to sign up if your email address is not already there. And then, of course, we have sporting events as well. Basketball season is about to start, and I know there will be opportunities for discounted tickets to some of our remaining football home games and some of our women's basketball games coming up as well.
And our football team is very good this year.
Our football team is doing very well, ranked in the top 10. They just suffered their first loss in their last game, but they've had an off week, a bye to get rested and ready and finish the season strong.
And ready for a great homecoming weekend, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yes. So what type of payments does the university make to Radnor Township and the Radnor School District?
Yeah, over the past 5 years, our average payments have been roughly $2 million to Radnor Township. And it works out to be sewer and stormwater fees that all property owners are subject to pay, permits and fees, so related to construction and inspection, We do pay property taxes, both to the township and the Radnor School District, totaling over $400,000 total to both of those entities. When police are on campus for events like men's basketball games or football games, we do pay overtime fees to them, and that averages about $100,000 a year over that time period. And those make up the bulk of the payments. When you are looking at nonprofit institutions, we are exempt from certain taxes, particularly property taxes in many cases. However, we do make payments, significant payments to the township, as I just outlined. But a lot of our activity is tax generating. So when you look at Radnor Township, in a very general way, their tax revenue comes from three different equal sources. So roughly a third comes from property taxes, roughly a third comes from permits and fees, and roughly a third comes from business generating taxes. Now the percentages are off by a little bit, but you look at those buckets and they're fairly similar. So while the university and other nonprofits may not pay a lot of property taxes, we significantly impact those other two buckets. So business generating taxes, either business that we conduct on our own or we generate through our spending of our students and our visitors, or permits and fees. So you look at that $120 million worth of construction on an annual basis over the last 5 years. There's a lot of fees and inspection costs that go into that. So the university, being healthy and active, is continuing to generate and contribute to the township's bottom line. And then when you look at the ripple effect that our activity has, other sources, other business owners, other employers are able to contribute and increase their bottom line and contribute even more as their business grows.
Wow. So two last questions about the report. It's not just about the numbers. There are some aspects of the report that talk about community service that Villanova does, specifically in the area. So do you want to talk about the Day of Service?
Absolutely. So the university has a great tradition of service. Service is woven into our mission, and that has only grown, certainly over the past 15 years, as some of our major service initiatives have grown as well. So the biggest day of service is our St. Thomas of Villanova Day of Service each September, where roughly 5,000 members of our community, mostly students, spread out throughout the region to do a day of service together on teams. A lot of our service takes place in Philadelphia, in Chester, in Norristown, and urban areas, but we do a lot of service locally. We have about 30 sites on any one year up and down the main line, and about 8 to 10 in Radnor Township. This year, a large group of students went to the Willows. In years past, we've cleaned up trash along the gateway to the township, along Route 30. And then smaller organizations in town, in Highland Avenue, some of the cemeteries, other churches have used some of the trails have used our students to improve what they're able to offer our community and what makes the Radnor community so special. So we're really pleased about that. We're really pleased to be able to not always look inward, but look outward with our greatest resource, which is our students. All told, they provide about 250,000 hours of service here locally and around the world each year, which is absolutely amazing.
I had my first experience this year of Day of Service and watching thousands of students get off the buses and just smiling, and you know, they really felt like they made an impact that day.
It is absolutely amazing to see that visual on a Saturday morning at 8:30 when
Yes.
A stereotypical college student is probably still in bed, to have our pavilion packed with students ready to go for a day of service. It speaks to how it's ingrained in the culture. It's not just something to do on one day and check a box. It's something that people really believe in, and to be able to have that as a calling card of the university, you know, that is a number, 250,000 hours of service a year, but it speaks to the power of how our students put our mission into action.
Sure, it's really incredible. All right, so last question. In the report, you know, I was amazed at some of the stuff that our alumni and our current students are doing, and they're putting what they've learned here at Villanova into action, entrepreneur-wise and just career-wise. Can you just talk a little bit about sort of the implications and what our students are out in the real world doing every day, and our alumni, the kind of jobs and the impact they're making, not just on this region and this area and this state, but also just around the world?
Sure. So I'll give you an example of an alum and a student. I'll start with a student. This past summer, one of our students, a physics major, was part of a worldwide research team that developed the first ever image of a black hole. One of the benefits of pursuing your undergraduate degree at Villanova is the research relationships you can develop with faculty. That doesn't necessarily happen at a bigger school. So this is the second year of research he was doing with his professor, and they were part of this amazing accomplishment that has gained worldwide attention, and they just recently were awarded, the whole research team, about a $3 million prize, which they'll get to split. So that kind of record-breaking achievement is possible at Villanova. And then an alum I know, as part of his senior research project, senior design project in the College of Engineering, designed an all-wheel drive bicycle. Driving the pedals moves both wheels, and it increases your traction and makes the bike more sturdy, especially on trails. He developed a small business and turned that into an all-wheel drive motorcycle company based in Philadelphia, and he now has the armed forces as clients. They're using them in the Middle East in some very hard-to-reach, hard-to-navigate places, but the technology that he developed at Villanova and refined afterward is helping keep our country and other countries safe.
That's incredible. And you have a Villanova degree yourself.
I have a Villanova degree, and I get to be on TV with you.
Well, I want to thank you. This has been a riveting discussion, and I'm sure our viewers will appreciate, having to hear more about the impact that Villanova has on not just Radnor, but the region and the state.
Can I invite them to look online?
Oh, yes, please. So where can we view this information?
www.villanova.edu/economic impact. We have a 2-page summary, and then the full report that's available for perusal.
For pleasure reading.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Chris Kovolski for participating in today's show. We look forward to next month's show as we introduce you to other individuals that are making news and positively impacting the communities around us. For more information on some of the great things happening at Villanova University and opportunities to be involved, please visit www.villanova.edu/neighbors.